Hello and welcome to the 140th installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, joined by our other host, Jordan.
That's me, baby.
Jordan, it has been a long time.
It has been a minute. Not for you guys, but for us.
For us.
It's been a hot minute.
A long time. But, you know, we're back. We maybe weren't so refreshed, but maybe we're a bit more refreshed now.
Yeah, which we'll get into that. I do want to touch on that.
Yes.
But I think what we really need to do is I need to test myself, Chris. I need to see, can I do the thing?
Oh, after fucking 16 years?
Yeah, can I do the thing? So, you can find us on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and YouTube with video platform. We also have Spotify with video platform. You can contact us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us your comments, your questions, concerns, and death threats. We have YouTube comment section, Instagram, and TED Talk, which I really do plan on revitalizing shortly. We'll get into why nothing has been done recently.
I think you missed the RSS feed. I don't think you mentioned.
Oh, and the RSS feed. Who uses it? Who? If you're importing an RSS feed, let me know. I would love to know who uses it.
Fair.
You know?
Fair. I was going to make a comment, but I'll refrain from doing so. Just in case we have like one RSS feed enjoyer.
It's like our most loyal.
Yeah,
listener.
like our most loyal. Like some guy out there's like obsessed with this podcast for some reason.
Yeah.
And he he has been using a custom RSS feed, and if I said the thing I was gonna say, he would be like, "This fucking guy.
Yeah.
I'm fucking removing this. I'm unimporting this from my RSS."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there's probably one out there. But listen, Chris. I'm gonna be blunt. I'm gonna be blunt with the audience. Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna say it
Blunt
outright.
force trauma.
Chris and I have, previous to this, pretty much lost the desire to do this podcast in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we've been in I think it stems from you know how like a few weeks ago, I don't remember how long ago this was. We were like, yeah, man, I started this conversation like, yeah, man, I'm just like not feeling great lately.
It sort of caught up to both of us.
And that's kind of what the tip we're both on right now. It's like, we're just not feeling great these days.
Yeah, and just a lot of changes in life in general, a lot of shit going on. Chris finishing school, me with work. It just hasn't been the creative outlet that we had hoped for. But
yeah.
Chris and I sat together today and we spoke very bluntly as like Chris was like, honestly, dude, before you came over, I was like, fuck, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, honestly, Chris, I said the same thing driving over here. I was like, fuck, I really don't want to do this. So what did we do? We fucking battened down the hatches and we made a game plan.
Yeah.
We're quitting. No.
Because I was having this conversation with myself last night. I was like, man, if I told them that, like, I'm just like really losing my drive to do this show, it would break his little heart, you know?
Yeah.
It would break his little heart. And then he was like, yeah, no, I feel the same way.
I feel the same way, yeah.
You know what? I wasn't in a great mood coming in, but like we started innovating. The fucking innovators teamed up.
We kicked on the innovation.
We started innovating. And we have made a goal, and it's kind of put a bit of wind in my sails.
Yeah, same here. It's it's got me a little bit torqued, if I'm honest with you.
Because here's the thing. I think I need to, in a way that I can focus my anger away from things that are irrelevant.
Right.
Like, we talked about this in the main episode all those weeks ago, months ago.
Sylvester Stallone, one of those episodes.
When I talked about how I was, like, very, very angry, but I wasn't angry at Jordan. I was angry in general. And I wanted to direct my anger away, because directing your anger at people who you're not angry at is kind of shitty. And it feels bad.
Yeah.
So I think I need to, in a way that I can direct my anger at certain things or away from certain things, I think I need to direct my like burnout and lack of motivation to the thing that's like deserves the least amount of my motivation, which is at this point finishing school. Like it needs doing because I need to do it. But, like, it's not something that I need to be like, okay, 100%, I need to be full steam ahead on this. I was like, you know what? Just coast to the end. Just do the thing that I need to do and then get it over with. And because that's what's really fucking with me is like, man, I just keep having to do shit that I don't want to do. And that's what happens is I want to work on other things. And I'll start working on other things. But like, I have this school thing I have to do though. So then I won't work on the other thing, but I also won't work on the school thing.
Yeah.
So
you just sit in limbo.
It's like a self-feeding kind of loop.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so a big thing for us was like we've talked about it right previously, but this studio, I use air quotes on that, is pretty much a dungeon at the moment.
Yes.
It's very dungeon adjacent. There's just not as many torture devices. There's only a few.
There's only a couple, yeah.
So our biggest goal right now is like we've talked with Chris's dad, we've looked online, we found like a bunch of stuff that we're gonna need and that we're gonna improve on to make this a better situation for us, more so for us than anything, for us to be happier about coming in here.
Well, yeah, because from where you're sitting,
yeah,
it looks great.
Oh, it's pretty good. Yeah,
because the camera sees an entirely different thing.
Yeah,
right. Like the shot is very well lit. There's good lighting.
Yep.
But like the ambience in this room, like
sucks.
It is, whether it looks like it on camera or not, it is dark in here.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it is dark.
So we have some improvements coming there, and then there's something I don't want to spoil unless Chris wants to reveal it. But we've come up with an idea for the next upcoming episodes. Not 141, but after 141 most likely.
I don't want to
spoil it.
Yeah, I don't want to make any like concrete promises until I do a little more investigatory work.
But it could be awesome, and I think it's really gonna kind of put a fire under our ass, put some wind in our sails.
What I will say though, what I am comfortable saying with 100% certainty, and I think Jordan feels the same way. This year, over the summer, the fireside episode is happening.
It is happening. That is a guarantee.
It is happening, no matter what, by any means necessary.
Any act of God, I don't care.
I don't care. I will, because even like last time we got hurricaned out, we were all prepared to weather the hurricane. We were like, how bad could it possibly be? And ended up not being that bad, actually.
Yeah.
But you know, how bad could it possibly be? But right. This is, by any means necessary, this year, fireside episode is happening with 100% certainty. I can't say when, I can't say where.
But it's happening.
But it will happen.
100%. Yeah.
And, you know, Jordan, you said you're going to be kind of doing the school thing, right?
Yeah. I'm technically taking a class in the summer, but it's like the Intro to College 101 sort of like, hey, here's how you go on Google, and here's how you upload assignments, like that kind of thing. And then I'll start one class in the fall. So I don't foresee that being too much of an impact as long as I stay on top of the work that I need to do. But I'm planning on taking one class to start. So like it can't be that bad.
I can foresee. So that means I'm going to be leading the charge, doing all my, like I said before, investigatory work. Yeah. I'm a bit of an investigator.
I'm an innovator. He's an innovator. He's an investigator. And I'm just a bystander.
I'm an investigator. So
Chris has investigated me thoroughly.
I had to do all my investigatory work and all that. And fireside episode, I can say with 100% certainty is 100%. Happening. And absolutely. Over the summer, I can also say with 100% certainty, some other special is happening.
Yes. Yes.
And what I also can say with 100% certainty is there will be a video from the main trip.
Oh.
That one's been on the back burner because like I've been trying to get the Monterey thing out, and then I finally did that, and I've had no specific drive or plan for the main footage.
Yeah.
Because I have an idea in mind, but like I just need to flesh it out more is the thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So we have a lot of shit we're working on.
We're making a lot of moves behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna translate well. And I'm really excited for the next couple episodes. Some of the stuff we're working on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping we can bounce off each other and get our motivation going, because we were both like me driving the Yaris the first week, like on the brink of stalling every 2 seconds, like just every takeoff was like, ooh, this could stall, you know.
This could be bad.
Now I think we're already in third and we're coasting.
We're coasting.
Right.
You know, I think I've also been running at like a hard sleep deficit. Apparently, if you miss out on a lot of sleep over a long period of time, like that really fucks with you, even if you get like a good night of sleep.
Yeah, it doesn't recover all the
Yeah,
loss.
so I think that's part of it.
Yeah, that definitely would do it. But, you know, workshopping ideas aside, talking about the dire state that this podcast was in prior to this episode, pretty much. What have you been up to, Chris?
Man, I've you know what I have been doing? You know what I worked on this week? In my film class, my lighting lab, I have to do a scene recreation. To find a scene.
Which sounds fun, by the way. Sounds awesome.
I have a scene that, you know, we have to find a scene that has interesting lighting and just do not like a 100% faithful recreation in terms of like, well, you need to act in it. All the 100% of the shots in this scene need to be there, things like that. It doesn't have to be 100% faithful. It's just the lighting has to be good.
Yeah.
So like audio isn't even like a requirement. So
interesting.
And you know, when I say that I came in hot, I was like, okay, this is my plan. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go above and beyond. I'm gonna get all the lighting perfect, and I'm gonna act out the scene. It'll be great.
Yeah. You didn't have enough innovators with them, I'm guessing.
No innovators to speak of.
If it was us, it would have been done.
So this is the thing. This is why, you know, if it wasn't a situation where I would have had to pull you out of work too, I would have asked my professor. I'd been like, let me get the other innovator in here.
Dude, we would have made a full-on movie.
It would have been flawless. When I tell you flawless,
yeah,
because I can only picture the like big goofy childlike grin I had on my face looking at all the equipment that I had access to in that room.
Yeah.
I can just picture we would be fucking monsters going through.
So how did you make 250 terabytes out of this movie? Well,
listen.
We started innovating first.
And then one thing led to another. Now we have a 68-hour long movie.
Yeah. It's like our entire life story, like shot for shot somehow, from our perspectives.
Shot for shot. So it's like it's like baby mode for a while. It's like, listen, when you get to around the 5-year mark, things start to get real good.
It's just me like falling and skinning my knee and crying.
And then when you get like 3/4 of the way through the movie, that's when the innovators first team up.
Anyway, so how'd that go?
Oh,
I'm guessing from your description, probably not the greatest.
No. And I don't necessarily want to make a call-out post.
Right. But we're making a call-out post.
A mild call-out post. Because maybe I could have been better on my end communicating, right? Mm-hmm. So
to your classmates, I'm assuming?
Yes. So I'm in a group in that class. In that class, there's like, it's a high-level lab, so there's 12 people.
Okay. So, it's supposed to be the best of the best.
And there's 3 groups of 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
My group and obviously 2 other groups. So the reason that we're grouped up is that like each group serves a specific role on a specific week. And also each group tackles a presentation based around a movie and lighting in that movie. So our presentation's next week. So last class, because we didn't have class yesterday, because it was, I don't know if you heard, Jordan. Did you hear it, dude? Jesus, they put him on a fucking cross, dude.
No way.
Did you see that shit?
No, I didn't. Is it on Facebook?
Dude, it was on the fucking news yesterday.
Shit.
They put him on a fucking cross. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow, though.
Yeah.
God was telling me there's something big that's going to happen tomorrow involving Jesus, but I figured
Sunday the 9th, you're saying?
Sunday, like 3 days after he was crucified.
Okay. I'm interested. Now I'm invested in the story.
And God was telling me, he's like, bro, listen, you think he's gone, but he ain't gone. Okay? He's coming back.
Dude. Imagine that. That'd be kind of hype. I'm not gonna
He's
lie.
coming back.
It's like when they brought the fucking Spider-Man back into the MCU.
So we didn't have class. Bottom line, we didn't have class.
It was Good Friday.
It was Good Friday.
If you didn't get the joke.
Yeah, and for any non-Christians out there, which I guess people who don't know about Christianity, because I am not Christian, so I don't. Anyway, moving
He's an
on.
innovator.
No class. The week before that, after class, we all met up and we worked on this presentation, which actually went way faster than I thought it would, because I've never actually worked in a group project where everyone was like prepared.
Oh, and they like actually did their part?
Yeah, like we all did our part. We all watched the movie, took notes, and had like specific ideas of what we wanted to write in and work on.
Right.
So we just like, and it's not like a wordy presentation. It's just like images, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
So we just like put all our scenes on and we discussed a little bit. And anyway, we did that. And then I said, hey, next Thursday, I'm going to be going in to do my scene recreation. Can any of you guys help me? Right? And I'll help you out with yours. And like, I got some like soft yeses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, no, that's fine. And I didn't follow up, so this is where it's kind of my fault. I figured they'd have my back, you know.
Yeah.
I'm used to a fellow innovator, you know.
Yeah.
If it was Jordan, he would have had my back.
Well, I would have been there 10 minutes early with coffee for us.
He would have been there 10 minutes early with 5 guys in his hand.
Five guys in Duncan and 3 whips on my back for the Duncan budget. But, you know, sacrifices had to be made.
So I show up right as the, like, open lab opens.
Oh, yeah.
I walk in, like, okay.
Innovators.
No one else is here except, like, one of the... I was expecting both of the student assistants to be there because they're both in my class. So I'm like, bottom line, I at least have 2 other people who could help me. There's only one student assistant, so is what it is, you know. I started just taking notes, basically, like drawing out lighting diagrams and like making sure I have like a list of shots that I need, and then marking out like which setups make the most sense to do in what order.
Right.
And I did all this organization, and it did not go according to plan. So right away, I clear out a space. I'm like, you know what? I can do a few of these alone, so I'll do that, and I'll see if anyone else shows up, and then I'll have them help me.
Right.
So we clear everything out. I start setting some stuff up, and someone else eventually does show up. This is the other student assistant, but he had to immediately leave, pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, you can't help me.
You're useless. You're not an innovator.
You're not an innovator. And you know, he had to like work elsewhere.
What a loser.
Imagine going to work, making money.
Working
Couldn't
40
be me.
hours? Gross.
So it was just kind of me, and then someone else eventually came in. So it was, I practically held 2 women hostage for like 4 hours to help me with this.
It's not the first time either,
And
weirdly enough.
So 2 girls that were in my class, and we just like did this whole scene, and we got all the shots we needed pretty much. There was a couple that like I omitted because, like, you know, it's 4:00 and we have like 2 more setups to do. I already have enough setups, so whatever.
Right.
I'll use like other scenes as cut-ins because it's not that big of a deal. And man, I'll tell you though, the lighting
Fucking beautiful.
looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But man, I'll tell you this, those cameras, those like high-end cinema cameras, they really know how to accentuate and point out every single flaw on your face. God, man, I was like how does this look higher resolution than my eyes?
Now you understand why the actors go into like 40 hours of makeup before every shot.
I see like every single like, pore, scratch, bump, bruise, scrape, abscess that's ever been on my face.
Is that his social security number in his cheekbone?
Dude,
what the fuck is
like
that?
it was seeing my face in like 50. It was like 50K. It wasn't even 4K, bro. It was like 50K.
You saw that shit like you had a hawk for eyes.
It was like one of those hyper realistic SpongeBob scenes
Yeah.
where like they'll have like, a cutaway to like just a fucking gross out gag. It was like that. Because I was watching back the footage, and I was like, man, that looks yucky, disgusting. And I went, oh, me, not the lighting.
Yeah.
The lighting looks great.
Right, the lighting, fantastic. That like weird thing you used in the frame, ugly as fuck. Yeah, that's me.
And it also doesn't help that. What was that? It just ended our recording.
What just happened?
What just happened? It just ended our recording. Hey, you can see us now.
How do we even explain what just happened?
Okay. I was making a point.
Yeah.
I was mid-sentence. Mm-hmm. And then our camera, this fucking...
Pissy
this
pony.
heap of shit right here, just like something flashed on the screen.
And it wiped our recording.
And I was like, you know what? No problem. It's probably fine, right? Because it's done weird shit like that before, but it's always preserved the recording that was currently going.
Yeah.
And it was still recording after that. Like we could start a new recording.
Perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine. But the one that we had been recording for 20 minutes is gone.
And I was going to say, so I've been taking the battery out because using it here, plugged in with the battery, killed the other battery, right?
Yeah.
So I did this for the last like 4 sessions and it was fine. But I'm wondering if that is what caused it to reboot itself. I don't know. All I know is don't buy Sony Handycams if you need something reliable.
Yeah.
So now we probably look better than we have in the last like 40 episodes.
Yeah.
Here's the coming straight at you fucking Galaxy Z Flip 4. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, Chris, as you were saying.
I was in the middle of a story. And I forgot where I was. The lighting looked fantastic. I remember saying
But you
that.
looked like
I looked disgusting.
You looked like a gross zomboid.
Like
disgusting
sort of
man.
like humanoid creature, homunculus type thing.
Yeah, it's like what I see when I'm recording this with you. Like when I look at you, like I'm just like, oh fuck, dude.
Like ugh.
A lot of times I look forward because I'm like, if I look left, my heart
absolutely
rate.
nauseating experience.
Yeah, like being in your presence, just same exact thing, just nauseating.
And it doesn't help that I have like a rather unique body type and shape.
Yeah.
Much wider than the average person.
Gotta get that wide angle lens going.
Yeah, so, and I'm also like tall. Mm-hmm. So, 2 things that the people helping me were not wide or tall. Mm. So, doing like swap arounds to like, hey, you sit where I'm going to sit so I could see what it looks
Required
like.
the whole frame to be adjusted.
Yeah, required to be like, okay, could you sit like 6 inches higher?
And like put your arms out like this.
Yeah, do this. So
yeah, no, that makes sense.
there was a lot of stuff like that, but like we got it done, and really, shout out to them. They did a great job helping me out, and I said I was gonna help them with their recreations because like I kept them there for 4 hours, so like, if I can give my time, I'm gonna help them out. And unlike anyone else, I'm going to show up to do it. Is the thing.
Yeah, you're dependable.
Any way you cut it, because I was like, man, I really didn't want to have to do that to 2 people today.
Yeah.
I really didn't want to keep 2 people hostage practically.
No.
And they were fine doing it is a thing.
Yeah, they were willing to help, but you still feel like.
But you still feel bad, right?
Yeah.
But I got all the shots I needed, but I haven't looked at any of it yet. And part of me is like, man, I kind of don't want to look at it, because what if I look at it and like I realize I'm either missing some crucial element or like it's all wrong.
Yeah.
And I have to reshoot everything.
I could see that being
And
painful.
I'm just gonna kill myself.
You look at it, it's that literal grandpa meme of like, oh, film the little girl on stage and the camera's facing him. It's just the people who were manning the camera somehow had it flipped.
We somehow left the camera lens on the whole time.
Oh my god. Oh, it's that episode of SpongeBob where they filmed the entire movie.
Yeah, the entire movie with the lens cap on.
SpongeBob goes, what's that? He's like, oh, it's the lens protector. I put it there for safekeeping. And he's like, oh my god. It's so funny. Yeah, I love me some SpongeBob.
But in terms of like complaining about things that I think it's better to complain about, inanimate objects. Man, those cinema cameras, again, they look fantastic. The footage you're gonna get is great, but the battery. When I tell you the battery lasts 10 minutes tops. Like,
really?
It's like 10 to 15 minutes and they fucking conk out. They die. It's like, because we constantly had the cameras on and off. So like over the like 3 hours of actual shooting time, the camera's on for maybe like 45 minutes or like an hour at most. And we went through like 6 fucking batteries.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And 2 or 3 times we had the camera die in the middle of a shot.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it sounds a little familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is my bottom line with these fucking cameras is I want to have a really nice camera, but I also want something that's not going to die after existing for fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think I've officially decided that I was talking to Chris about this before the podcast when we were doing our fucking housekeeping. I think to replace these Sony Handycams, like at least the one for me, I was like tasked with fucking getting like a podcast camera, and Chris would look into like a outdoorsy camera. I'm just gonna go either iPhone 13 or S23 because like you get the fucking pro mode, right? So like even on the iPhone, if you go the iPhone mode, you get that cinematic mode where like if we're filming a shot and it's like you're in the foreframe and then someone's in the background and you look at them, it'll autofocus to them following your looking.
So
like,
it will do a rack focus like that?
Yeah, like it does it all automatically if you want it to. It doesn't have to do that.
Interesting.
You can fucking, on the Samsung, you can adjust aperture. You can go into fucking pro mode. You can do so much shit that it's like, all right, it gives you good enough for like it's going to be a YouTube video. We're not making a movie here. We're not putting this on a fucking DVD or in a movie theater. Like this is a YouTube video that's compressed anyway.
Yeah.
And also, if you were to just get that phone, disable all the other functions pretty much, but camera, you can probably record for 3 to 4 hours straight.
Well, my thought is for like a podcast camera, like if you were going to spend money, like if you were going to be in for like $700 already, you might as well spring for like the extra like 300 to get like one of those big like documentary type cameras.
True.
And when I tell you those things, you can put like a fucking practically like a DeWalt battery on the back. Like the batteries for those things are like this big.
Yeah.
And I don't know the exact ones we have, but we had them on for like 5 hours straight, no battery changes.
Yeah. That's what we need. Like we need something high quality.
And they're meant for like, they're a little more rugged. They're not as customizable. You can't like take the lens and change the lens out and stuff. But they're a lot more rugged and durable. And the battery lasts way longer.
Yeah, because like...
And they're perfectly fine if you don't have the battery on, just being plugged in.
Yeah, that would be the main thing. It's like, honestly, with this setup, it could be plugged in.
They're built specifically to be reliable for like TV broadcasts.
Yeah.
Like live broadcasts.
Yeah, like that would be the route I'd want to go. And then like, it's just so hard to be like, something like the Blackmagic, be like, oh yeah, let's buy that for like the on-the-go footage. And it's like, I know it's not going to work. Like if we try to do like a fireside episode.
And the footage does look really good off those cameras. It's just not as customizable and comparable to like, you know, like the Blackmagic
one you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as like customizable and comparable to like a high-end Canon camera or like the Pocket Cinema 6K or something.
Well, because you get 2 file types on those, right? Don't you get like the metadata as well on the...
You can shoot RAW, which it keeps the camera settings and the video in separate kind of files. So you just get like flat footage, and you can just put like whatever LUT you want on it.
Yeah.
So you can put like just like...
Did you call me a what?
You're a LUT.
How dare you?
So you put like Rec 709 on it, and it
You're
immediately...
gonna what to my LUT?
It immediately makes it look good.
Yeah. Essentially like a glorified filter that's incredible.
In a way, yes. So like a lookup table, a LUT, what it does is it finds a color and then looks up in a table what that color should equal, and then makes it that color.
Yeah, so then everything's even as to what it should be.
Yeah, so it just does all your color correction for you, basically.
Yeah.
And you can tweak it if you want, but like...
Yeah. Now that's like, the problem is there's just so many ways to go with it, but I think we need a reliable camera for the stationary podcast, and then like, man, I just can't get over the fact that like the phone cameras of today are just too fucking good for price to performance ratios.
Yeah.
Like you get the battery life, you get the camera, you get a lot of the customization options. Obviously you don't get, Apple, you have the M1 Mac Mini, right?
Yeah.
I think the new iPhone can interface with that and shoot RAW.
Interesting.
I believe it can shoot RAW.
Interesting.
So there's that.
I think actually I might have access to some of the footage we shot on those like documentary type cameras from class, so I can show that to you later on.
Yeah.
Because it looks way better than I thought it did.
Yeah. No, they're good. Yeah, we got to do something though. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Going from like these little handy cams to like a cell phone is crazy.
Yeah, especially because like if the problem is, the punching above its weight. Like you can get a fucking Galaxy 23 or whatever the fuck the new one is, and it shoots fucking 8K.
8K 24.
8K. What would it cost me to get an 8K camera?
Yeah.
And I've noticed that the same like curve that exists for cameras also exists for laptops. This is something I was pontificating about yesterday.
Pontificating,
with
I like it.
Because if you want a laptop, okay, and you buy, and you want to buy something that is going to function, like bare minimum function, and you get something that's like $400, it's going to function. Like it will do computing tasks technically.
Slowly, but technically, yes.
But it's going to be so remarkably shitty at like doing those tasks, and it's going to be made of like fucking paper practically.
Yeah.
And if you want something like a little more mid-range, you're spending like $700-800, the thing you're going to get is still like fucking mid. It's made of like slightly better stuff, sure, but it's also still has the performance of the crappy one.
Yeah.
What you need to do if you want a laptop that like really works and does everything you want it to, you're going to be spending $1,200, $1,400, $1,500 at least. And if you want a good one, you're going to be spending $2,600, $2,700, $2,800. And the same curve exists for cameras. Like the difference between that $200 camcorder and like a $700 camera is like they're way closer in performance than you would expect.
Yeah.
If you want a camera that's going to like really do what you want it to do, you're going to be spending at least like $1,500.
Yeah.
And then if you want like a nice camera, you're spending like $3,000.
Yeah, because that's like the big back and forth Chris and I have had for a while. Is like I've said, there is zero return on investment for us to buy a $700 dedicated camera. We would be better off in that price range getting a cell phone because that performance is so much better. Like find a $700 camera that can do 8K 24. Try it.
Good point, yeah.
But we were literally just looking. You can get the S21 Ultra, so 2 years back. You can get it for $400 right now on Amazon.
And that does 8K 24.
Yeah, like you're not going to beat that in that price range. Not even close. These cameras, 2 of them, were more than that. So, and it fucking went, and shut off. Like, Not
It
to
is
mention
fucking
overheating. That's a
very,
big issue.
very strange. Well, I will say with heat is like we haven't had heating issues with the cameras we've used. So
I wonder how that would be. Oh, wait, with us, you're saying, or in your studio?
in my studio.
I was gonna say, because that's the other concern I have is if we try to take this thing out in the summer on like a trail or like an outdoor fireside episode.
And that's cameras under, multiple 600-watt
Lights. Yeah.
600-watt incandescent studio lights. So
Toasty.
incandescent lights, fucking 600 watts of an incandescent light, 500 of those watts is heat.
Yeah.
Like, incandescent lights suck.
Yeah. You have a toaster. Like you have a little toaster. So.
And that's why they're used now. Incandescent lights are usually used now just to keep things warm.
Yeah.
So.
Like chickens.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, the camera shit the bed. It's dumb. It's a piece of shit. But,
yeah.
So you made your recreation. Doesn't seem like it went as smoothly as you would have hoped. You didn't have enough innovators on your side. So
that's what I'm saying. I need more innovators.
No, just needs to be more innovators. On the other hand, I've just been playing. I've just been playing games. I came from Pat's. That's why we recorded so far in advance. I'm wearing the Pat's jacket. That was a good time. There's a guy, Dave, there that fuck him.
What did PAX East Dave do?
Dude, PAX East Dave, we watched a Just Dance tournament, right? It was just like, oh, they're doing like a Just Dance tournament. And there was these sisters. They're called the Dynamite Twins. They were fucking awesome. They were really good at dancing. Now, the problem was Just Dance that they were playing was using a Kinect. Xbox One and Kinect, right?
Okay.
So, here's what was happening. They did this whole tournament bracket. And these Dynamite Twins were like really good. They were fucking dynamite, you could say, right? They were wicked good at dancing.
Truly innovators in their own field.
Exactly. Innovators in their own field. Innovators of their own making, right? They were fantastic. But there was this guy, Dave. He showed up in like just some ragged ass clothing and he sucked.
So Dave was involved in this tournament.
Yeah. He was just this guy. This old guy.
Okay.
And Dave sucked at dancing. Now, the problem was Dave's inability to dance actually worked in his favor because his more simplistic movements, the Kinect could pick up. But the more smooth and quick movements...
Okay, all right. So he did better in the game.
Way better in the game.
Okay, I see.
He solo clapped like 13 people who were phenomenal dancers. And he won the overall tournament. And he sucked.
Hey, it is what it is.
Like, think of it as the equivalent of, like, if Michael Jackson did the moonwalk, and then I just, like, went very slowly with my feet like this in front of the Kinect, and it picked up that over his actual moonwalk.
Well, at the end of the day, it was a Just Dance competition, not a dance competition.
Exactly. So he won the entire thing, and I was not happy about it.
Dave mopped the floor.
Dude, like, honestly, like... They did some dances that were just like, they were killing it. Not even just them, but like other people. Like there was the Spanish guy up there who was like a younger guy. He was doing fucking awesome. Like everyone was doing so good. And Dave would just go up there and be like, flailing his arms about.
This is the thing that why I never understood like games like Just Dance and like DDR and shit. Mm-hmm. Because all you're doing is hitting buttons.
On DDR, yeah.
Yeah, or like doing specific movements. So you're not dancing, you're flailing your arms around, or you're hitting buttons with your feet.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you could put a little flair on it, but you gotta hit the buttons at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything exciting.
Just Dance is like the closest to it, but to your point, like a lot of the movements it shows, like swinging your arms, you just have to go like that with your arm, like over your head, and that's like what he would do. But they would give it a little more zest and like give it like a real dance move. Like there's always these animated characters doing the dances on the screen. The people dancing were like matching those movements, and the Kinect was just like, nah, not possible.
I think that's also a skill issue on the part of the Kinect.
Oh, 100%. It's 100% the Kinect's fault. Like 100%.
Because
put them in a mocap suit and do it, like they would have crushed it.
Like the Kinect has to be like the worst motion tracking
ever
that exists.
It's so bad.
Like motion tracking from the fucking Wii was better.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So Dave, fuck you. That's all I gotta say.
Fucking guys, guys, adult men that do Just Dance competitions specifically, not just this specific man,
But just in general.
adult men who attend conventions and do Just Dance competitions die.
Damn, that was rough. But Petsy statue was pretty good. I won't go into like super big detail because I've talked it to death, but it was a good time. They do this really dumb thing for anyone who maybe plans on going to Pat's and wants to actually enjoy themselves the first day. There's this thing they do where they give you a schedule ahead of time, and there's like 5 or 6 items on the schedule, and you kind of look at it and you go like, "Wow, it's a little lackluster." And then you show up, and this is not based on personal experience by any means. You show up, you watch Dave dance, you do some other stuff, you walk the show floor, and then you run out of things to do and you just sit there for like fucking 3 hours waiting for the bus to pick you up, only to find out that morning they updated the schedule with like 40 events. Not personal experience, by the way. Definitely not based on a true story.
Now, Jordan, follow this logic for me.
Okay.
Conventions.
Yep. Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Conventions. Typically, at a convention, a well-planned convention, you want to have events booked out, a lot of events booked out in advance, sometimes months in advance.
Right.
So that you know what's going to be there, who's going to be where can you put everyone, what booths can certain events and things exist at, you know, where can Dave enter this Just Dance competition, right? Things like that. You would want to know far, far in advance, and if, like, someone drops out, like, 3 weeks ahead of time, well, shit, there's an empty booth there, right? So you would have, like, a pretty dedicated schedule that you would want each event to be at a specific time on the days of the convention.
Right.
Why would you not then distribute that to the people who paid a lot of money to go to this convention?
Good question. Good question.
Like all the people who paid and want to go to, maybe they want to go to a lot of these events, but they don't know that the events exist because you didn't tell them. And if I was perhaps a customer, potential customer, who was thinking about going to this expo, this convention, and I was looking online like, what are they going to have there? Who's going to be there? What events are they going to have?
What can I do?
Yeah, and then you list me 5 events. I go, oh, that's not worth it at all.
Yeah.
And then I don't buy a ticket.
Yeah.
Would that not make sense to just, like, you know, keep people up to date?
You would think so, and I'm guessing honestly that they probably had them all booked out because you can't just pull this shit on a whim, and then they just didn't update the app. That's what I'm guessing it was. Just the app didn't update.
Because that's a major issue with, like, people who try to do, like, conventions for the first time. They never go well.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand how much advanced booking you have to do.
Right.
To get a convention going.
Yeah.
And just how much fucking money that costs.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, but once we became privy to the fact that was updated on the second day, we did go to a lot more stuff. I competed with Letsy in an Overcooked 2 tournament.
Nice.
We beat the first people, and then we lost in the second round against this couple. I was like, you motherfuckers. I almost jumped over the table and started swinging.
Why you look over and see who it was, and it was Dave again.
Dude, if it was Dave.
He was playing both controllers.
Dude.
He was playing both controllers. He was like...
I'm not even going to lie. If it was Dave, shit was going down. Your boy would be in prison.
It's like, I just saw you do the Just Dance competition, bro. And now you're going to beat me in this? Fucking goddamn it.
No, it ends up being the opposite, right? He beats me at this, and I'm like, oh man. And then I shamble upstairs sad, and he's in the middle of the Just Dance competition.
And then he's in the middle of another Just Dance competition. There's like literal toddlers doing it, and he's just fucking destroying them. Fucking doing so much better. He goes, yeah, fuck you, kid. Fuck you, child, and your dreams. You have any idea who I am? I'm Just Dance Dave, bro.
I'm JDD, bro.
I'm JDD, Just Dance Dave.
Yeah, no.
He goes to competition. He goes to specifically Just Dance competitions that are staffed by old people and children, destroys them, and then calls it a day.
Yeah, pretty much. But dude, if I looked over and it was Dave, like felonies would have been committed.
It was Just Dance Dave. That's his brother, Overcooked Dave.
OCD. It's OCD.
Overcooked 2 Dave. It's the Dave and Dave connection.
Dude, the Dave and Deuster. It's Deuster. It's not even Dave.
Deuster. Overcooked Deuster.
It's fucking Deuster.
That's a deep cut. That's a lore. That's a lore item.
Yeah, that is a lore
Dave
item.
and Deuster's.
Oh man. I'm telling you though, if I had looked over, I would have been like, let's see. Hold my jacket. And then it just turns into Peter versus the chicken for like 30 minutes. It's just me and him fighting. Man. We like end up on an airstrip and I like put his head inside a propeller. Like, motherfucker. But yeah, we ended up beating the first round. We lost the second. I felt bad. The people we beat the first time seemed like actually kind of sad. So that was kind of a rip in the chat moment.
Now they're doing a podcast talking about Overcooked Jordan who mopped the floor in the competition.
Dude, there's another podcast, yeah, and they're just like, this fucking douchebag,
this fucking idiot Jordan was playing Overcooked, and he fucking mopped the floor with us.
Him and his fucking woman. They just, I don't know her name, but she was there. She fucking, and then they
Overcooked Jordan.
And then they had the audacity to say GG's, like fucking Overcooked Jordan, bro. Just fucking leveled the floor.
Man.
They're so mad about it. But yeah, we did the Overcooked 2 tournament, and then we went to like a couple other little presentations. One of them, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was Final Fantasy 16 or 17, whatever they're on. It actually kind of made me hype for the game. They showed gameplay, like actual gameplay in the PS5, and I was like, man, that looks fun, because they stopped making it a turn-based thing. It's now like just a third-person action RPG.
Like 15 or whatever the other one was.
Yeah.
From my experience with that game specifically, it looks way cooler than it is.
Yeah, like, no, for sure.
It's not as entertaining as it looks in the trailer.
Yeah. No, so the game, they were finally showing like gameplay. They showed different arena modes and stuff like that, and it looked pretty cool. Actually, I was like, oh, the game does look cool. I might get it. Maybe, I don't know. I've never played any of the other ones, truthfully, but I was like, this one looks cool. It's a third-person action RPG, which is like up my alley. So saw that, and then, most excitingly, we got to see the Roger Clark presentation with his colleagues. Didn't realize that was an advertisement of a game. I was under the impression it was just like hey, we have Roger Clark here, right? And it actually turned out to be like a reveal or a more in-depth discussion of an upcoming game called Solis that looks fucking awesome. It looks like kind of like a Dead Space sort of third-person action survival horror adventure thing. Looks pretty sick. And Roger Clark's the main character. He has a colleague, Julia, who plays kind of like the voice in your head sort of thing. Like, oh, hello, I'm calling you from the radio tower. There's demons ahead. Like that kind of bitch.
I think the problem with Roger Clark now is because he played such a great character, Arthur Morgan. He is doomed to be typecast as like a wisecracking, like morally gray criminal type guy.
I could see that happening. So that's the thing that he kind of touched on that I told Chris about a little, not in depth, but just like a surface level. I had said how during this panel, he was kind of like, I don't want to just be known as Arthur Morgan, which I totally get. But to Chris's point, like that's how these things work. You do something exceptional, and now you become known for that, and like that becomes your standard. Like your example you gave.
The same example I gave was Giancarlo Esposito, who played Gus in Breaking Bad. Ever since Breaking Bad, he's played like a dark, brooding villain for every one of his roles afterwards.
Even in Far Cry.
Yeah, and even though he's just like a jolly, like kind of jovial guy.
Yeah, and that's just what he is cast for because that's what he excelled at.
And the thing is, I think from what he said like publicly, he loves it though. Like when fans come up to him and they're like, "Gus," and he like immediately gets into character every time.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah,
that is sick. Yeah, I feel like that's something people or like actors should do more often. Is like that kind of thing, like go into character almost because that is kind of sick. Not that I'm saying, like, I want to go up to Roger Clark and be like, hey, Arthur. And he's like, shut up, boy. And he fucking punches me in the mouth.
Hey, it's Arthur. And he just goes, fuck you, dude.
Yeah. But, so to your point, though, that's where Roger Clark said he was immediately on board with Fort Solis as a job because he's playing essentially the opposite of Arthur Morgan. His words exactly were, like, pretty much, well, I'm no longer in, a Western game. I'm in a sci-fi space adventure. Arthur would never be seen on Mars. And also, instead of being this, hotshot cowboy, I'm like a scared fucking spaceman, pretty much, who's fighting for his life.
I see.
So it's like a total different casting. So he said that was like one of his biggest things for being like, fuck yeah. And then he said like he inquired about the story and like what was their goals, what are they trying to tell, what's the theme, and he was like, oh, I'm kind of into this, so he went for it. I don't know. I think he's going to do good. Troy Baker's in it. He plays what seems like a villain. They didn't say he was a villain, but they were talking about the behind the scenes, and they said that him and Roger had to do a lot of fight scenes. So I'm like, they must be villains.
You could mention any video game and say Troy Baker was in it, and you'd probably be correct.
Yeah.
He's been in fucking every video game.
It was funny hearing Roger Clark joke about that, too. He kept making fun of him for that. He was like, "Oh yeah, he played a waitress in this game," and like he's just like joking around.
You know the main character in any video game. That's Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Any video game.
But he's good too. That's the thing about Troy Baker. It's like I'm not even mad about it because he's good, and generally speaking, the performances are different enough. Like his Joel is very different than his Booker from BioShock. His Booker's...
You can tell that it's Troy Baker just because by virtue of how his voice sounds.
Yeah.
But like, there's times where you're like, this kind of sounds like that other character, but like I'm not sure.
Was he Handsome Jack? I can't remember.
I believe he was.
I gotta look now and see. I fucking love Handsome Jack.
It was either that or he played the main character in Tales from the Borderlands. I forget.
Reese? Yeah, he might have been Reese actually. But yeah, Troy Baker is a phenomenal Trot Baker. He's a phenomenal voice actor, and I think he definitely deserves a lot of the roles. He plays Reese. That's all the photos that came up when I typed in Troy Baker Borderlands is all Reese. So he actually looks like him too. I didn't even. Oh wait, no, he says he didn't voice Reese. Hang on. Oh, just for Borderlands 3. Yeah, I get it.
In Borderlands 3, he didn't do it.
But yeah, like even like his Sam. Yeah, for example, Sam Drake. He plays Nathan Drake's brother in Uncharted 4. And you can very clearly tell it's him, but he still does a good job, and like his performance is still fantastic. Like this is the guy who fucking brought Joel to life. Like it's such a fantastic performance.
Fair.
So that's why I'm not mad about it. It's when you see the same voice actors and they kind of suck and they're all generic. Like he might sound the same, but if his performance is there and his emotion is there,
I think a guy like Troy Baker is the antithesis of like what like the Hollywood and like game studios are trying to do now, where they're trying to cast big name actors to do voice acting.
Like Chris Pratt.
And I'm going to be real, some of these people are fantastic actors, but they are terrible voice actors.
Yeah.
Terrible voice actors because it's just a different art. It's a different thing. And you spend all your money on all these like celebrity cameos and it's just less money to put everything else into. There was a game that like just came out that's like supposed to be like this crime game that's supposed to be kind of like Payday.
It's not Crime Boss Rockay City.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I heard it's shit.
They put like a ton of money into getting all of these celebrity cameos,
A-list fucking
A-lister celebrities, and then put none of the money into fucking development in a very obvious fashion. The game looks like shit and it doesn't look fun. All the voice acting, especially that given by the big names, sucks.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to get, you know?
Yeah, like honestly, that at the end of the day, it's a different profession.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing that who the fuck is that guy? His name begins with a T. He's a famous actor. He's like a Spanish guy. Always has like a handlebar mustache. Danny Trejo.
Oh yeah.
He explained the other day how like the reason he uses a stunt double isn't because he's necessarily like afraid. He literally said he was like, it's a different job. He was like, I can do my own stunts. He goes, but what I am is I'm an actor. The stunt performer is a stunt performer. It's their job. If I decide to do my own stunts, I've taken away a job from someone else. So he like explained that in like a post the other day, and I was like, it's a really good fucking point. It's a job for someone, like it's creating a job, and it's two different professions. I might be fantastic at taking a fake fall, but I might be shit at voice acting, behind a closed curtain reading a script. Like, they're not the same. Just because you can do one, you can't necessarily do the other.
Because there's so many more elements to acting than just doing a voice.
Yeah.
And there's so many more elements to voice acting than just, like, doing a voice.
Yeah. Like, one of the things Roger Clark said, too, was voice acting in games, when he was talking about this, has gotten easier on sets where they do mocap because it merges the two worlds. So instead of having to like read a script and go, okay, Arthur seems upset here, he can now yell at Dutch. Like he can yell at Dutch or yell at Sean or yell at whoever. And he said, like, then we'll go back in the booth and maybe have to re-record some lines, but he has the reference. He's got the reference material there. He can watch back his video and see how he performed it and fit it to the character.
Exactly.
Versus games that just do like hand animation and you don't have mocap, it's probably a lot harder to be like, how does this character feel?
And hey,
it's all theater of the mind.
Game studios and movie studios. You would also save a lot of money hiring a really good voice actor than you would in a good actor.
True.
You probably save a lot of money doing that. And you could either put that money elsewhere, or you could just pocket the money and have a better movie or game just by virtue of having a good voice actor.
Yeah. I do have to say, though, to Chris Pratt, specifically, because I know he got dunked on for the Super Mario movie. Apparently, that movie's pretty good. Apparently. I don't know about his performance, but I haven't seen anything that's been like, oh, he fucking sucks. So I'm assuming he's okay.
I don't have a lot of faith in it, simply because it's Illumination.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
Like, the Minions guys made this. This is going to be dog shit. But I want to go see it. Honestly.
We should see it. Would you want to go together? We could totally do that.
Yeah, let's go see it.
Yeah, I say we do that. We should definitely go do that. I'm down. We'll definitely do that then, and then we can talk about it because I want to go see it too.
Spoiler cast.
I want to see it too, but like I also don't want to just go alone to watch fucking Super Mario. Yahoo!
Yeah, we should get like a late show though.
Yeah, I said we get a late show. Maybe we can invite someone, or we can just keep it us. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, like a 9 p.m. or something.
I'm fucking
because
down.
I think not a lot of like people in general, but not a lot of like kids are gonna be brought to the theater for a 9 p.m. showing.
Yeah.
So that way we don't have like some fucking screaming idiot the whole time.
I'm gonna be the screaming idiot. It's Mario. It's Mario.
The whole time it's gonna be the whole time. Like 10 minutes into the movie, I'm gonna like take some popcorn from Jordan's thing, and the rest of the movie is gonna go
like a crying baby.
Yeah, you're like throwing your fists around and like.
No, what we're gonna do the Avengers thing where like the first Avenger shows up on screen, so Mario shows up on screen, and we stand up and go.
Everyone, we stand up and we cheer like an absurd amount. Like,
yeah,
woo, let's go.
Yeah,
it's fucking Mario.
And then Bowser shows up and we're like, fuck you,
Bowser, fuck you.
I'll fucking kill you.
We start throwing shit at the screen.
Start shooting the screen. Pull out an RPG.
We're like throwing bricks at the screen. Wait, Jordan pulls out his gun, starts shooting at the screen. I fucking get like I pull up a laptop and go doo, 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 and a fucking ICBM comes through. It's
the Hammer of Dawn from Gears of War. It's like, Marcus, you gotta go outside to use the Hammer of Dawn.
A fucking portal to hell opens up in the theater, and the Doomslayer comes out, starts beating the shit out of the screen.
So we're gonna watch the Mario movie.
I
think we're gonna do that. But what I was gonna get at, one thing I wanted to touch on about Pat's quick was the Roger Clark thing was fantastic. There was a funny moment I told Chris about where Roger Clark stood up and at the end of the panel and the lights went dark so you could just see their silhouettes. And he was looking out at the stage, he like waved, and then some kid came flying out of the back row in like a full Arthur Morgan cosplay.
Oh
like the blue button up with the suspenders, like that cosplay. And he's like, Roger, and he just turned and walked away. And it's like, I totally get it from like a famous person perspective. Like if he hops off the stage and takes a photo with this guy, he is going to get swarmed.
Yeah, he's gonna get mobbed.
So he's gonna just be like, I'm fucking out of here. So the kid looked upset. So that was a funny thing that happened. But what I was gonna say was I went downstairs and I was playing on the exhibition floor. I played Alone in the Dark. I played the demo, and it was an interesting demo. It was just like a little short 15-minute thing with the game.
Yeah.
But the coolest part about it that I thought was cool is it provided like some backstory. It was like a prequel to the game, and I was like, oh, cool. Like now I kind of get the setup a little bit. And the lady who was hosting the panel or the booth was like, oh, what's cool is like that demo is PAX exclusive. Like that's not going to be in the game. So like that's backstory that you'll know that like maybe there'll be notes in the game that talk about, but like this demo is not going to be in the game. And I was like, oh, that's kind of fucking neat. Like that's pretty cool. I was going to play Dead Island 2 there, but there was a huge line and the game comes out in like 13 days. So I was like, why am I going to wait an hour line for a game that comes out in a month from then? Like I can just buy the game. Like I know what Dead Island 2 is
like
going to be like.
if you get in line for like in a 2-hour line for Space Mountain, but it turns out Space Mountain is coming to your living room tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was like, yeah, you know. So based on my first day at PAX, I would never go again. Based on my second day, now knowing, you know, where I have to compensate for their lack of fucking telling you anything, I'd go again. It was a good time. It was expensive.
How famous and or wealthy do you have to be to get a booth at PAX? Do you think we could get a booth for next year?
Maybe. I talked to our boss and I was saying, you know what I should have done? I should have got a Synapse Misfire shirt with a QR code on it and just walked around.
Just put like stickers
Like
everywhere.
there was a ridiculous amount of people there. I should have just walked around with that on.
Hey, you're looking for a podcast for a couple innovators.
If you want to learn how to innovate, just scan this code. And they scan it, and it's accidentally like a link to my Facebook instead. I'm like, fuck, wrong code.
It's a link to it's like a Google Maps link that goes directly to your address.
Yep.
Like it just pops up the street view of your house.
No, it's an internal camera in my house. It's like watching the house. You just see like Oscar licking his nuts. It's in the middle of the floor.
Oscar, Jerry, and Noggin, they're all like fucking playing poker.
Yeah.
You know the painting of like the dogs all playing poker?
Yeah.
It's like that. Like they're all sitting there in like hats and like coats. And they have like cigars and they're like dealing out cards.
Yeah. It's Oscar, Jerry, and Noggin playing, and then like some random street cat is just dealing the cards out.
It's Chunk.
Yeah, it's Chunk. Oh, man. But yeah, PAX was a good time. I would recommend going. I think, I was telling Lex, like, if I go in the future, I kind of want to go with, like, a group as opposed to just us. Because it's fine. Like, we had a good time. And she, you know, she tagged along even though she's not necessarily a fucking gamer. She plays some games. But, like, I think a group of people would be kind of cool. Hit up the bars after and stuff like that. So I went to a couple bars with her. It was just a good time. You know, hanging around Boston was interesting. So
Fair.
Didn't get shot, so that was a plus. But
That usually helps.
yeah, but it was a decent time. But I think that's all I got for this one, Chris. You have anything you wanna add?
No, I don't think so.
All right, well, fuck you guys then. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna do the thing.
You know, what I will say confidently, fuck that camera specifically.
Yeah, fuck it. Fuck you, camera. So, as always, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and of course, as Chris reminded me, I forgot, the RSS feed. And you can contact us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, and more importantly, death threats. You can also send those to us via Instagram or TikTok, which I will be revitalizing shortly. And YouTube. Comment section. Oh, and I think there's a Spotify Q&A that always goes up, by the way, automatically. I didn't disable it. It's an automatic thing. So. Give us some Q and some A's, brother.
Give us some cues to A.
Yeah. Send us your Q's. We'll send you some A's, you know?
That's what I'm saying.
Some quas.
All right. See
All right,
you
bye.
later. We're going to go watch the Mario movie.